Hey guys, first to Regardsman here, and today we got a huge bit of information for Space Marine 2's future in the June community update posted by Saber Interactive this morning, in that we are getting a new yearly season pass with extended support for Space Marine 2, presumably all the way up until Space Marine 3's release. Now, Space Marine 2 was a huge success, an unexpected success as well. I'm sure that Games Workshop has pushed them to just beeline it straight for Space Marine 3 and drip feed content in this game with some major updates along the way, all the way up until that comes out. So this is kind of expected. They have mentioned that they will be having a new roadmap even prior to this community post, so this isn't like that new. But what is huge here is that we will be getting a large-scale update planned for September within the 10.0 major update. Until then, there will be no balance there'll be no new content, only balancing changes in the patch 9, which will probably come out in like August or something, or maybe even July. And then in the 10.0 September update, we will be getting the new weapon, the Power Axe, with its own moveset, execution animations, etc. They said they'll show more on this weapon later on, but here's a first look. So this is what this will look like in game when we actually get it. And we will also be getting what I am most looking forward to with the TECHMARINE class. The TECHMARINE class could change up like the entire playstyle of this game for team comps. So like really adding a class in a horde shooter is like the most important thing in my opinion. Really changes up like team dynamics, and I think it's just really healthy for games like longevity to have a new class in your horde shooter. Darktide just did this with the Arbites class. It did phenomenally well. Hopefully this one does the same thing. Now, as far as the Power Axe is concerned, people have been talking about the Power Axe forever. There's been a model in the game files for this for a long time. Also, in like the opening cutscenes, they showed the Power Axe. I'm very curious to see how they will differentiate this weapon from the Power Sword, because the Power Sword is, you know, kind of like a horde control weapon that's probably hit a lot harder than that. They have also talked about having a new PvP mode here that will be in the 10.0 update. It will not be released in 9.0. So pretty much they are doubling up on all of their content for one giant update in September for like the year release. Like it'll be like 1 year into Space Marine 2 at that point, so this kind of makes sense. The anniversary, huge update, new class, new weapon. I understand what they're trying to go for here. They did mention something crazy that a lot of you may love, which is that we will be getting a chaos versus chaos mode for PvP, and you can take control of a Hellbrute. I have no idea how that will work. I don't play the PvP too much. I have some friends that play the PvP a lot here, like Bic Gentleman. He loves this game's PvP a ton. There are a lot of Twitch streamers that enjoy the PvP, so I'm curious to see if they'll enjoy this mode or not. But I am glad they are putting out more PvP content for the people that love it, because this game does have a pretty dedicated community for the PvP. Now, as far as the future for Space Marine 2 and the yearly pass, I'm excited for a new season pass. Hopefully they show us like what you're actually going to get in the season pass, rather than just saying that like, oh, you're just buy the season pass and give us money, and then we'll maybe give you something you want later. But overall, the free updates for this game have been pretty damn good, and really the most disappointing aspect would probably be some of these champion packs that we've gotten, and like, you know, it's just, that's paid for DLC and it's totally optional, and the free stuff has been like where the most of the gameplay changes have been. And I guess that's pretty standard for games these days, but I am really looking forward to having a new class. Like I said before, I know people really want the Power Axe. Honestly, I don't care about a new melee weapon as much as I care about a new class. I am very curious to see how they will make this function in the game. I'm glad it is not in Apothecary, mainly because the Apothecary just wouldn't fit in Space Marine 2 that well, because healing is a limited resource in this game, and having a class like that could really break the balance pretty hard. I mean, perks like Unmatched Zeal and Invigorating Icon already do. Now, as for the fact that we'll be getting no new content until update 10, and 9.0 will just be balancing changes, hopefully they do some huge reworks to the actual perk trees in this game, mainly the weapon perk trees. I think the weapon perk trees need to rework again more than like even some of the class perks, but hopefully Assault gets a huge balance buff, because he is seriously struggling in the siege mode currently. They did mention that siege mode will have its timer presumably completely fixed at some point in the future. They said with optimization coming down the line, they think they can get rid of the timer entirely. So that'd be great, because currently in the siege mode, when you get to the higher waves, the enemies do an insane amount of damage, and that's basically how they fixed it. They just made the enemies get stronger faster after the 15th wave, and to the point that it basically becomes impossible. So their solution to the timer for siege mode was pretty much make the game so hard that you will never get past the point that your game would crash. And I guess that is technically a solution, but a class like the Assault right now is severely struggling to possibly survive at all on some of these higher waves. So hopefully he gets some serious buffs. Hopefully they figure out this timer. Now, as for new melee weapons after the Power Axe, I do hope we get to see Lightning Claws or something like that. And I also hope we get to have another class down the line besides TECHMARINE. Now, overall, having a new class is great. I think this is like the natural progression point of where Siege Mode was, where, you know, we go into Siege Mode. That was like the biggest update for this game so far, really. And this is the one people were really waiting for. And now the next big thing would like naturally be a new class like the Arbites and Darktide. And hopefully this brings back a ton of players. I'm really looking forward to playing this class. This is really like the biggest thing for me. I'm going to be honest, I'm kind of a fanboy of TECHMARINEs. I love Praetors of Orpheus. I love guys like what are the other ones? Even Tome Keepers, but Tome Keepers aren't really that. But Praetors of Orpheus, those are my boys. That's like my favorite successor chapter for Ultramarines. So TECHMARINEs, they fit right in with those guys. So I'm really looking forward to this. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I know it's a bit of a yap video, but you know, I pretty much just woke up, saw this, recorded this video, and I'm super excited to see what they do here because I figured they were going to support this game past the first roadmap they had, especially with how successful it's been, especially with how successful Siege Mode has been for the game. It brought a ton of players back. It is super hard. It is pretty unbalanced in some portions, but people are still loving it. I have seen a tremendous amount of low-level players in this game, people who have just freshly prestige joining into hard mode, Siege Mode, instantaneously dying, but hey, they're having fun, and that tells me that a lot of players are coming back for this game, and I'm sure Saber Interactive has metrics to make that to know that's what's happening, and that's why they are doubling down their support. So extended support is great. I'm sure Darktide, on like a side note, will also be getting a new class down the line in the future, because they did mention after Arbites they'll be having like a I don't know, well, they didn't mention what kind of class it's going to be, but it could be like a Tech Adept. And like a TECHMARINE plus a Tech Adept and like my two favorite 40k games right now would be pretty awesome. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. Are you excited for the Power Axe? I'm sure you're all excited for a TECHMARINE. Like, good luck finding a match when this patch drops. Like, I don't really know how they're going to do that, but everyone's going to be wanting to play TECHMARINE. I'm probably going to be stuck playing solos to level this thing for a long time. So I imagine that will be like the #1 complaint, but what are you going to do? It's not like Darktide where you can just pick whatever class you want. I'm curious to see if they'll make it so you can play the same class multiple times in this game before then. But that would be my biggest worry. Anyways, that's all I have to say in this video. Thanks for watching. If you like content like this and build guides, subscribe for more. I'll see you guys in my live streams and my build guides and my gameplay for Darktide and other games like that, and just 40k content in general. Peace.